Welcome back, everyone. Today is Wednesday, February the 7th. I'm Ryan Hill.
John Galantis.
And you're listening to Clearview Today with Dr. Abadan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. You can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions for Dr. Shah or suggestions for new topics, send us a text to 252-582-5028, or you can email us at contact@clearviewtodayshow.com.
That's right, and you guys can help us keep the conversation going by supporting the show. You can share it online with your friends and your family. You can leave us a good 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasting content from. Absolutely nothing less than 5 stars. We're going to leave you guys some descriptions in the links, so you can do just that. We're going to leave you some links in the description,
yes,
so you can leave us some good 5-star reviews.
Willy Wonka style, scratch that,
reverse it.
The verse of the day today comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 30 and 31. But of him you are in Christ Jesus, who became for us wisdom from God, and righteousness and sanctification and redemption, that, as it is written, he who glories, let him glory in the Lord.
Best advice you can ever give. If you are going to glory, if you're going to boast, if you are going to praise anything, praise the Lord.
Yep.
He's the one that deserves it. And I love that Jesus Christ became wisdom from God. Think of how precious that is.
Yeah.
That's so precious that Solomon, that's the only thing. He could have asked God for anything in the world. He said, God, I want your wisdom. Mm-hmm. And Jesus Christ became that for us. So now we don't have to wait for this miraculous event in Solomon's life where God comes to you and asks you. We can always turn to Christ because he's that wisdom given for us.
Yeah, Dr. Shah loves to say that wisdom is not a character trait, it's a person, and it's the person of Jesus Christ. And that's so important for us as believers, because a lot of times we'll kind of pawn off our sin nature on, oh, we're just human. I'm just human. I'm going to mess up. But if you are a Christian, if you're a believer, you have the presence of God living inside of you. You're not just human. You have God's presence with you. So it is possible for you to make right choices. It is possible for you to overcome sin, but it's not you, it's Christ in you. That's where it comes, he who glories, let him glory in the Lord.
That's exactly right, because if you're just human and that's your excuse to sin, then why could Jesus not have sinned? He also was 100% human.
Yeah.
Like, he was 100% God too, but don't think for an instant that those two natures were in conflict with each other, that the divine nature overrode that human nature, and therefore that's why it's because he became human for us. That's also really an encouragement for us. We will never be sinless, but we can strive to be wise and what is it they say? Nicole says it all the time. You're never going to be sinless. You
gotta sin less.
Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. I didn't grow up with those little Christianisms, but I thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah.
You know what else is cute? Really, I don't know if this is cute at all. I think we actually might get some flack for this. Probably going to catch some flack, man.
Oh, no.
But I'm going to swallow this pill like Pac-Man.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Spit bars.
We have made the switch. We did it. We don't drink coffee no more.
Well,
you probably
I still drink coffee.
I don't drink coffee no more. I've switched over to tea.
You don't drink any coffee anymore at all.
I had a cup of coffee at dinner Saturday evening.
Wow.
That was the first. So what is today? Today's Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Last Saturday, I had a cup of coffee. Before that, I think my last cup of coffee was 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
We switched over to hot tea.
Yeah, it's good. Hot tea.
Do you drink coffee here, or do you just bring it from home?
No, I drink coffee here.
Okay. I like it.
I kind of go back and forth. Like sometimes I'll drink coffee, sometimes I'll drink tea. I like having tea because it's a good alternative. It's a warm beverage. There's some caffeine. It's not as acidic as coffee.
Yeah.
Sometimes coffee can upset your stomach.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You doggone right about that.
Yeah.
So David bought some tea. Our engineer here at the Clearview Today show, he bought some tea, and he was like, "I'm just gonna buy some hot tea," and I was like, "Ew, what the heck is that?" And he was like, "I just want tea." And I was like, this is America, so you don't drink tea. You can drink coffee, or you can drink like Code Red Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
So I tried the tea, and I was wrong.
I think a lot of times we think of hot tea as just like the flavor of sweet tea without the sugar hot.
Yeah.
And you can do that. That's possible. But there's so many other flavors of tea. Like we've got like vanilla chai, we've got orange citrus, we've got lemon peppermint something. I mean, there's so many different flavors of tea.
Yeah, we got the caramel apple coming in. I'm excited to try that. I tried the blackberry citrus. Here's why, because because I always think of hot tea and I think of like the British people just sipping on their little tea, and then the Americans don't like it, so they throw it in the river because it tastes so bad. I mean, or the Boston Harbor, I should say, all this kind of stuff. That's not why they threw it in the Boston Harbor, but I like to pretend that it was. We're doing an album. And when we went to go do the album, we had the throat coat tea.
That's so good. That stuff is gold.
I almost gagged.
What?
I didn't like it.
Are you serious?
I didn't like it.
Oh, man.
Now, I like the effect that it had because our producer who's working on the album for us was like, I have throat coat tea. The singers need to be drinking this. They drank the tea. Everybody was like, oh, this is great. I love this. I drank it and I was like, oh, I don't like the taste of this at all, but I got to drink it because I don't want to be rude in this guy's studio. I liked that it did coat my throat with this. I mean, it did help me sing better. But I didn't like it. So I just thought that's what hot tea was. So I was actually texting. Dr. Shah was at the studio that day. I was just texting him. I was like, did you drink hot tea growing up? Because I know in India there's a lot of British influence. He was like, yeah, but we drank it with milk and sugar. I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. So I tried David's tea, and I like the tea.
Sure.
And I haven't had a cup of coffee in like, other than I would say 3 weeks, other than one cup of coffee I had with dinner, which is fine.
It's good stuff.
That's good to do.
It's fine.
Yeah. But I would recommend, and maybe we can do this on advice no one needed, I would recommend you switch over to hot tea.
Sure.
Yeah.
Give it a try if you haven't done so already. Write in, if you're a tea connoisseur, maybe there's some people out there who listen to the show, they're like, oh, hot tea is my jam.
That's true, because we've had a lot of coffee snobs write into the show before.
Yeah.
We haven't really read their stuff on air because it didn't really.
I feel like tea snobs have to kind of keep it on the down low because of the whole like Boston Tea Party thing. Like, we can't
bad blood.
We can't let on that we actually like the tea.
It's some bad blood. Yeah, we made such a stink at the Boston Harbor. We might want to play it cool.
Yeah. Write in and let us know your favorite, your go-to hot tea. 252-582-5028. Or you can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com. On the break, I want to encourage you to go over and visit mightymuscadine.com as well. They're sponsoring this episode of the show. Great line of wellness products. Use the promo code TODAY. That's TODAY when you check out. It's going to get you a discount, and a portion of those proceeds come right back here. We'll see you guys after this.
Are you looking for some new worship music to go along with all these amazing shows here on the Truth Network? Well, today's your lucky day because Dr. Shah and myself and a lot of the rest of the Clearview staff have been hard at work writing for the last few months, and we're very excited to share Clearview's new EP with you, Together Forward. Not only do these songs sound great, but each and every single one of them were born from a place of genuine worship and prayerfully written by our team right here at Clearview Church. It's available right now on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, anywhere digital music is sold. So make sure to pick up your copy today and let us know how these songs are helping you, whether they're helping your worship band in your church or just in the car or around in your everyday life. Email us at info@clearviewbc.org. You can also support the ministry here at Clearview Church by visiting us online. That's clearviewbc.org/give. Thanks for listening. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Clearview Today with Dr. Abadan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. You can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions or suggestions for new topics, send us a text to 252-582-5028.
That's right, and we are here in the Clearview Today studio with Dr. Abadan Shah, who is a PhD in New Testament textual criticism, also with a very special guest. You know, I didn't know how to best refer to you on the show, whether it was Representative Sandy Smith or, Congresswoman Sandy Smith, potential future Congresswoman Sandy Smith, but I think I'm going to go with conservative fighter Sandy Smith. Oh, my. What a name.
That should be like
that's up there with
cards,
Stonewall Brigade.
That's like if you can be called conservative fighter, that's the title.
Like that's like you.
It's on my name tag.
Right. It's like Super Smash Brothers. It's like the Me Fighters and the Me Brawlers. It's like conservative fighter.
Conservative
that's where
fighter.
That's right.
Sandy Smith.
Yeah. Sandy
awesome.
Smith, welcome to the show.
Welcome. We're so glad you're on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's an absolute honor and pleasure.
You know, we were talking earlier, because I got to get your opinion on this. We were talking earlier about coffee versus tea. You know, a lot of us have recently moved on from coffee to hot tea. And, you know, it's been such a source of contention on the show. Which do you fall into, coffee versus tea?
Well, I will tell you, I'm a coffee in the morning and tea in the afternoon.
Okay.
So I like them both.
Okay.
Now your creamers, because this has also been, it's never come to blows on the show, but it has come kind of close. Regular creamer, like hazelnut, or do you get out there with like the blueberry cobbler or the Pop-Tart, cinnamon sugar, all that stuff?
Well, I actually like plain half and half and a little bit of monk fruit. But if I have to, it will be Hazelnut.
Hey, Sandy, why?
See?
Sandy.
Thank you so much. He argues with me all the time about hazelnut, but hazelnut is the flavor of choice.
It really is. And hazelnut pairs very well with coffee. Blueberry, not so much.
You haven't tried the blueberry cobbler creamer, though.
Hazelnut.
Can we go? Hey, well, one of y'all run up to the food line and grab some of that. I want before you leave. It's really important to me that you try.
Well, welcome again. Thank you so much for being on the show today. You know, one of the hearts behind what we do here on the Clearview Today show is just kind of equipping people, letting them know current events, what's happening, and introducing them to figures like yourself so they can learn more about you, learn more about your platform, and just get to know their representative, get to know their politicians. So just give us a brief rundown of who you are and why politics. What led you into this realm in the first place?
Well, I firmly believe the Lord led me here. I'm not a career politician. I've never held public office. I'm a business owner and a mother, a Marine mom. And, I just got tired of seeing what was happening and the fall of our country. We're seeing that in real time. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer that if you want to help and you want to do something, you need to be willing to take action. And that's exactly what I did. So, as everyone knows, I'm Sandy Smith. I'm in North Carolina's 1st Congressional District. This is a brand new drawn district. Last cycle, the Democrats controlled our North Carolina Supreme Court, and they decided to set a special masters to draw our maps, which were unconstitutional. In addition, they were gerrymandered towards the Democrats.
Yep.
So, fast forward a little bit, Nancy Pelosi had to spend $6.2 million to help get her guy across the line. Had I flipped 6,000 votes in a gerrymandered district, I would be a sitting congresswoman today. Wow. So now, since we took back control of the Supreme Court here in North Carolina, they pulled back that ruling and said that they erred, and they allowed the General Assembly to redraw maps. And this cycle in 2024, I will be running in a fairly drawn map for the first time ever. And had I ran under this map in 2022, I would be a sitting congresswoman. I got more votes than any Republican ever in this history of this area. And that's because, I was able to reach across to get folks from all walks of life and unite them behind my message and unite them behind me. And I'm the only one that actually has a pathway and a proven track record to get people to turn out to vote. So I'm really excited.
Wow. That's awesome. And Dr. Shah, I didn't realize, but you two have actually met before.
Yes, we did. This is a couple of years ago at a get-together, and our family was there, and our daughter was there, and she really liked you and just the energy you had and just the authenticity you had. I mean, you did not, when you expect somebody who is running for an office, you have a certain expectation, and she didn't realize you were. And she said, "Oh, that's Sandy Smith?" And I said, "Yeah, that's her." Oh. And so that right there really spoke to her. And right now she's in law school in Boston. And hopefully she may, come work for you one day. You never know.
You never know. But that is so inspiring to hear that. And that's the thing in politics, not even in politics, just getting out and talking to folks, you reach so many people. And I mean, my husband used to laugh about it before I even decided to run. He dropped me off to go run in the store and get a gallon of milk, and it'd take 15 minutes. And he was like, "What's taking so long?" And it's just people, I listen. Some people just need somebody to listen.
That's right.
And they need a hug. They need somebody to pray with. And, that's something that's just a gift. And I've embraced it, and it's served very well so far, in this endeavor.
Yeah. We talk about that a lot on the show, like just the power of being able to listen and being able to be aware of what's actually going on around you, not buying into a narrative that's being fed to us. And, a lot of times that goes along with our Judeo-Christian values. Do you want to just kind of speak to that? Like how you said the Lord had kind of led you to run?
Absolutely. And, before I decided to run, for example, I was in a store, and actually I wasn't in a store. I was driving by, and there's a car that was broken down, and there was a young man who just got out of the military underneath the car trying to help a black pastor who happened to run over some bricks that had fallen off a truck. And this is during when the media was portraying that, we're not supposed to get along.
Right.
And let me tell you, it's like 100-degree heat. And I actually stopped my car, put the blinkers on, just because I feared someone might come and hit the gentleman.
Right.
But then after we got everything, got the car off the road and everything, and we started talking, it's like, we're not supposed, we have compassion for each other.
That's right.
That's right.
And I think that, the media tries to erase that. And I think right now, more than ever, we need Christians to speak out and share the gospel. Because when we only have 50% of our entire population in the United States subscribing to any type of religion, that's alarming. We need to get back to our basics. We were founded on Judeo-Christian values, and we need to have folks up in Washington that are going to be unashamed, unafraid to share the gospel.
That's right.
Because if you save one person, it made it all worthwhile.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Amen. Dr. Shah, I know that's your heart as well. We've talked several times on the show, and you've spoken about from the pulpit that our country, although we have strayed in many ways, our country was founded upon those Judeo-Christian values.
Right. That's right. Having come from another culture, another country, I can definitely tell you there's a big difference being here. I've been here 30-some years, and America definitely was founded upon those principles, those Judeo-Christian values. And today when you hear people talking about, we need to rethink the Constitution, they have no idea what they're talking about. Those are the very constitutions that give you the right to even say that.
That's right.
So I'm a firm believer that this nation needs to return to those values. Now, does that mean everybody is a born-again, solid Christian? No, but we are operating on the basis of those freedoms that have been given to us.
Yeah.
I think there's a hunger in our country, a hunger to hear the truth.
Right.
And there's a hunger for something. And, I believe it's Christianity. I believe it's hearing the gospel. I believe it's hearing that there's hope. Because we live in a society right now that the media and the radical sides of things are giving people no hope.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think that's a huge part of it as well. And I'm glad you brought that up again because, being in Christian media ourselves, Christian broadcast, it's really easy to feel like you're being... So, like this is your little sandbox. This is your Christian sandbox that you can play in and you can talk in. But the real media is over here. And as long as you're labeling yourself as Christian media, you're not going to be part of it. You're not going to be part of that conversation. Do you feel like it's like that in the world of politics as well? Or do you think media has kind of a hold on that?
I would say it just depends. There are some people that try to steer away from it. And we have some people go, don't talk about religion. And I'm thinking, that's our problem.
Right.
We've had too many Christians for too many years, for decades, that have remained silent. We were quiet Christians. We're like, we're going to church, we're praying, we're going to work. And we lost what our job was to do. And we have to, open the Bible.
Right.
Jesus tells exactly what we're supposed to be doing. And I think that's where we kind of get away from that. But yes, the media, if they have an opportunity to take a jab at you or whatever, they do it. And but we're seeing some people be, we're getting breakthroughs. So
Right.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
change.
awesome.
I can definitely agree with that. There's some change coming. It's slow, but it is coming where people are realizing that's not where the average American is.
Yeah.
They want to have God in their lives. They want to have values and principles that made this nation what it is today.
Yeah.
And so, it's slow. And that's why it takes all of us chipping away.
That's right.
And being out there, being the salt and light.
That's
right. I mean, that's what we're doing. That's the whole purpose of this show,
Yep.
is to be able to say, not just we're here to just preach. We're also here to help people.
absolutely.
You know.
And show that they can come from all walks of life. I think that was one of the things where I actually made a lot of connections to folks that most of the people in the political world would never pay them any attention. Matter of fact, this sounds really silly, but we have a Christmas party every year with my family and stuff, and I invite people from every spectrum, and I got paid the most awesome compliment. They were like, "Man, you've got people from all spectrums, from people that are really embedded in the political world to the folks that are the workers in the factories, to folks that are farmers, the moms." And to me, I thought that was the best compliment ever, because that's what America is. We're not a political, country club class. We're not, we're a mash pot of everything.
That's right.
And I mean, that's why, I was out campaigning in 2022, and I was talking to two black pastors who happened to be Democrat. And after speaking to them, they said, "You know what? You mean what you say you're going to do. We believe you."
Yeah.
And then before I left, they're like, "Can we pass out some of your cards?"
Wow.
Yes. And even what's even better is those gentlemen reached out to me just a few weeks ago saying, "Hey, are you running? We're behind you."
Wow.
That speaks volumes. But I also say what's really crazy is when I talk to some of the pastors that belong to some of the that are Democrats, they're having problems, with mob mentality in their churches, turning it over. Meaning, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, or like mean. It means they, when they come out and say, "Hey, look, I want to be register a Republican and move our church more in that direction to start, preaching biblically and pointing out the things," they get a lot of revolt from some of the bigger churches. And after talking to them, I said, "Look, you have to." It's a chip one person away at a time, whether it's a small group. But when they just get defensive about it. And the thing is, we don't need to be that.
I think sometimes we've been fed this that church and politics need to stay apart, and that's not true. The church was part of the political life in the founding of our nation and throughout the crises our nation has faced. So to take church out, well, what are we going to replace that with? Oh, just nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Well, one of the things at Clearview, and I'm glad you say that, and I'm glad you say what you're saying, because one of the things that we have here is that we're a loving church. It's one of our core values. And so what that translates to for us is that it's not enough for people just to be welcome. They have to feel like they're welcome, even if they have different thoughts than us, even if they disagree with us. And sometimes that can be, kind of difficult because you want everyone to think and act like you. But for the church to function, even people who disagree or have different ideas are still welcome here. Now, that's something as simple as a church. Now you take something as big as a country, a nation full of people, and you say, no, everybody has to think and act this way. It just never works. So I'm glad that you kind of bring that up because it's something that's near and dear to us, even on a small level.
Well, I love even just this conversation, the opportunity to hear from you, Ms. Smith, and then you, Dr. Shah, hearing that, there are breakthroughs happening. As somebody who is sort of on the ground level, I don't interact with the same people that you do, but to hear that, it goes contrary to what we're fed in the media. We're told there's division, we're told that there's strife, and there is, but to hear that there are breakthroughs happening, to hear that there's ground being made, to hear that the church is having more of a voice in the political realm, that gives me hope.
Yeah.
And I hope it does the same for our listeners and viewers. There is hope, and that hope is Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Amen to that.
Yeah, it's kind of like wise old Gandalf said, there's other forces in the world. What is it? Oh, there's other forces at work in the world besides evil. And that gives me hope too, right?
Thank you. Get off the drag. You took us unexpectedly to Middle Earth.
I was trying to bridge it. Hey, listen, we got to have representatives in Middle Earth too.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that it's kind of fun to come together and talk. But I mean, how has your Christian faith impacted your life? Not even just your political life, but just your personal life. And how do you take that into work, I guess?
Well, one of my favorite passages in the Bible is Ephesians 6:10. Put on the armor of God.
Yeah.
And I think that it is so true today. And, that is something that I kind of really take to heart when I decided to run for politics. That, look, you can hit me with all the arrows, all the negative, everything. Hit me with all you got. God's with me. I have his armor on.
That's right.
All those, my shield is going to deflect that. And, I was actually just recently baptized in 2021.
Wow.
I accepted Jesus into my life in my early 20s. Matter of fact, I found my first Bible, and I would, you'd think about it, and you're like, gosh, it was the book of John was the first book that inspired me. No, I actually reread it, and it was the book of Matthew.
Wow.
And what's really so awesome and inspiring is looking at the things that you highlight and line out in your 20s. And oh gosh, I got chills just thinking about that.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And I'm telling you, when the Lord speaks to your heart and you listen, sky's the limit.
That's right.
And that's why when I talk to folks that, they're down on their luck or things aren't going their way, they might say, no. If they take the time and start praying about it and just listen. You don't have to accept it. You just listen to it.
That's right.
Matter of fact, I got a phone call yesterday from a good friend who another friend is recommitting her life, being rebaptized.
Wow.
So that is so exciting. I mean, when you are so excited about people accepting Jesus into their heart, I mean, it literally brings tears to your eyes because they have been redeemed, and it's awesome.
That's right. I know that's something that's near and dear to you as well, that Christ taking you through those hard times in your life.
That's right. And our nation needs that right now. People are going through difficult times. There's division. There's things like that. And the gospel has an amazing way of uniting the body. And what you said earlier about the pastors that you met, I meet pastors all the time. And there is a movement. There is a desire. There's an understanding that we cannot move forward as a nation unless we come back to where we need to be. That's right. And it's Christ that unites us. It's the gospel that brings us together. And I'm a believer that we need a revival.
Amen. Amen.
Right?
I agree 100% with that. Absolutely. And I think that as Christians, we need to be on guard because they are trying to dismantle the church. They're trying to shut us down. They are trying to separate us from Jesus Christ.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's what, that was kind of during COVID when they were trying to shut down churches. And we have to stand up and say, no,
that's right.
This is not right. And we're not going to stand for it.
Where do you think that targeted opposition comes from? Like, where do you think, not who's committing it, but what is the purpose behind targeted opposition towards Christianity like that?
Well, we're in a spiritual war, and it's evil.
Yeah.
It's evil. It's trying to separate us from our Father, period. That's what it is. Tempt us with all kinds of pleasure and crazy things that are not good for us.
Right.
And I mean, we see that all the time. Look at, social media, TikTok, and all that stuff. It's interesting seeing the different societies that have more, productive, constructive, pure, if you will, type of content versus what we're doing in the United States right now, where it's people, putting all kinds of crazy stuff where I don't even want to talk about it so bad. Yeah. But it's alarming, and it's showing our country falling. And we need to wake up, and we need to have leaders that are willing to call it out and say, "Hey, this is not right for us." But not all loss, and not all hope is lost.
Right. That's right.
And that we can make a course correction.
Right.
We are not out of time.
Yeah.
Our best days are not behind us. Sometimes I think people have that mindset. It's over, it's done, it's, America's seen the glory days. And I appreciate what you said because no, the best days are still ahead. People need to see hope.
Right.
But true hope, right? True hope, returning to those values. And hope is a person. Well, I always say hope is Jesus.
Yeah.
But we need that hope that, yes, there's a better day coming for your children, for your grandchildren, but we got to do this. We got to get this right. And that's one reason we are on the show with us. We want to hear your heart and talk to you, and we want people to know about who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and also to remind young people today that although it is great to support your conservative leaders, it's not necessary for you to be a politician to be a leader in your community or in the church.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. What I know we're kind of running short on time, but what is some advice that you would give to some young conservatives who are afraid to voice their opinions or stand up for what's right in today's culture?
I would say, live fearlessly and with conviction. But you need to make sure you know your environment because you want to make sure you're not put into a position where you could get hurt or have physical harm. But, live with your heart and not be ashamed or afraid to share your Judeo-Christian values and your thoughts.
Yeah. Dr. Shah, what about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe in respecting our elders, but aim for the young. So because they need our help, they need our guidance, help them. And if we can tell them to live courageously. I mean, this is Gen Z. We talk about Gen Z all the time.
That's true.
This is a generation that has been through crisis. They have been through shutdowns. They feel like life is taken away from them. So they live kind of skittish, and you have to tell them, no, live courageously. You said it perfectly. I mean, there are great things in store for them. Come to God.
Amen.
That's right.
Don't turn away from God. Don't walk away from God.
That's right.
And you don't have to live alone. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folks in the Gen Z era that are home by themselves, dealing with depression and things like that. And they don't understand there's hope. So, they can come out and there's people that want to be with them.
Right.
That's right.
Mental health is a battle, but you don't have to fight it alone.
Yeah.
And here at Clearview, we emphasize that, hey, come together. Community matters.
That's right.
Very, very important.
That's right. So important for us. And even conversations like this help us realize that we are not alone. We're not,
right.
The greatest tactic that the enemy has is isolating us, but we're not alone. We're not fighting this alone, politically, spiritually, or where those two meet. We're not in this by ourselves.
That's right. What are some action steps that we can take or the listeners can take to actively support Sandy Smith? What are some things that we can do?
So first of all, they can reach out to my website, go to sandysmithnc.com. They can read all about me. If they can help financially, click on that donation button. That's very, very helpful. Also, if you'd like, we have volunteer positions such as knocking doors, making phone calls, putting signs out. This is an absolute community team effort to make a change in our community. I don't know if you know, we're going to make history in 2024. This will be the first time that a Republican will ever hold this seat since before Reconstruction. So this is historic.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and the thing is, it takes time to shift a district, and that's where all the hard work that I've put in and getting to know the community is paying off.
Wow.
So we're excited.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Very cool.
Very cool. Make sure you guys, make sure you do that. If you have any questions about how to support Miss Sandy Smith, write in and let us know, 252-582-5028. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Did you have fun?
I had a great time. Thank you
It was
guys
good.
so much.
It was fun.
You never know when you walk in what's going to happen. And, it was awesome. I love it. I'd love to come back.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Amen.
We'd love to have you
We'll
back.
make it happen.
Very good. Well, hope you guys learned something today. Like we said, write in and let us know, 252-582-5028. If you have any questions about anything we talked about on the show, or you can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com. Don't forget, you can partner with us financially on that same website. Also want to encourage you to visit mightymuscadine.com. Check out their line of products. They're our sponsor of the Clearview Today Show. And use that promo code today. That's TODAY when you check out. It's going to get you a discount on your products, and a portion of those proceeds will come right back here to the Clearview Today Show. John, anything you want to leave our listeners with today?
We're going to be talking about the power of worship tomorrow, your worship in the church. We play music in the church. It's just filler, right? It's just time for the pastor to get up there, do what he's got to do, get everybody in the sanctuary. Wrong. Worship plays an important purpose. We're going to talk about that on tomorrow's show.
That's
we'll see
right.
you there.
Love it. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Clearview Today.